If I were to tell you that the entire story of Joni Lamb, Jonathan Lamb, Suzy Lamb, and Daystar would reach this stage, I would have a hard time believing that it would happen. In one of their recordings, Jonathan's wife, Suzy Lamb, made a statement that brings to light the fact that Joni Lamb and a few other board members are actively attempting to conceal the abuse. Not only did Suzy and Jonathan's brother become victims of abuse, but Suzy also indicated another form of abuse, which we will go over in the next paragraphs. It is possible that you have heard it before, but hearing it once more can truly help you obtain a more profound comprehension of the entire story. Prior to proceeding, I would like to extend a warm welcome to our channel, where we provide you with the most recent updates and in-depth analysis of significant events. Take a time to show your appreciation by liking this video, leaving a comment with your opinions, and subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already. Let us now go right in. Suzy Lamb, who was a co-host on Daystar TV and the daughter-in-law of the company's founders Marcus and Joni Lamb, disclosed in January 2017 that she had been sexually assaulted by a chiropractor who had been recruited by her in-laws. Despite the fact that her husband Jonathan Lamb, who was the director of operations at Daystar, informed his parents about the incident, they decided to keep it a secret. Daystar is a significant Christian broadcasting network that has over 100 stations all over the world and generates around $100 million in annual income. Jonathan and Suzy detailed a culture of secrecy at Daystar, which they discussed in an exclusive interview with the Roy's Report. More than 10 years ago, they had the feeling of being compelled to adhere to this culture. Recently, they made the decision to speak out about their experiences at Daystar. They were driven to do so by a desire to seek justice and raise awareness about the culture of secrecy that exists inside the organization, particularly in reference to what they allege was a cover-up of Suzy's assault. At the beginning of their first interview, Suzy did not talk about the abuse she had experienced. She later revealed her wish to support her daughter, who was also a victim of sexual assault. However, she did not have the ability to do so. Despite the fact that he was never charged with a crime, Suzy and Jonathan claimed that the doctor had previously lost his license, owing to allegations that he had assaulted a kid. He was given permission to work at Daystar since Marcus and Joni believed that he had improved as a result of his change. As time went on, everything appeared to be going according to plan until Suzy became aware that the chiropractor was becoming more forceful. Suzy was subjected to a vicious assault by him on a particular day when his helper was temporarily absent from the room. Despite the fact that she did not consider it to be a rape, it left her with a profound sense of anguish. After that, she did not waste any time in informing Jonathan exactly what had transpired. The anger that Jonathan felt compelled him to get in touch with Marcus and Joni Lamb, who were absent at the time. He stated that Marcus had assured him that he would take care of it, but ordered him to refrain from discussing it anymore. During this time, Suzy was experiencing feelings of anxiety because she was aware that the chiropractor was aware of her abode and had previously made comments that were threatening. The day following the incident, Suzy fell physically ill as she was getting ready to stand in for Marcus and Joni Lamb on their show. Despite this, she continued to host the broadcast nevertheless. When Joni Lamb returned a few days later, she informed Suzy that Marcus had terminated his relationship with the chiropractor and gave her the assurance that he was no longer a threat. The fact that Joni Lamb highlighted the importance of protecting Daystar and advised Suzy not to speak about the incident caused Suzy to struggle with feelings of fear and confusion over her future trust in leadership. Not only did the enormous amount of pressure that was placed on her make her trauma any worse, but it also raised questions about the long-term impact that it would have on her mental health. What Joni had requested, Suzy did what she was told and made an effort to forget about the assault until 2021, when the trauma manifested itself again. Concerned by the fact that Joni Lamb had put pressure on her to maintain her silence, she started having panic attacks and anxiety. After her daughter revealed in November 2020 that she had been the victim of sexual abuse, this issue became even more widespread. When Suzy reached out to Joni for assistance, she suggested that she bring the girl to her rather than calling the police. Additionally, she cautioned against contacting the police. However, after having a one-on-one conversation with Joni, their daughter completely stopped talking about the abuse. Allegations that Daystar was covering up any mistreatment have been refuted by the company. In their statement, they noted that prior investigations had concluded that the allegations of sexual misbehavior involving any members of the Lamb family were lack of credibility. They argued that neither Marcus Lamb nor Joni Lamb would ever condone anything that may be considered abusive toward a child. They asserted that there was always a witness present during treatments by the chiropractor and that there was no inappropriate behavior that took place. This was in response to Suzy's complaints that she had been assaulted in 2017. The fact that there was never any talk about not reporting the incident to the authorities was another thing that they mentioned. Friends of Suzy have mentioned that she had a difficult time recognizing her event as sexual assault for a number of years due to the sentiments of guilt and confusion that were implanted in her by individuals who were her immediate environment. Because of this, we are now faced with an important question. Why did Suzy Lamb feel the need to keep quiet about the sexual assault she experienced? In the aftermath of her bombshell allegations against Daystar, this subject has become a significant concern, particularly when taking into consideration the significant part that her husband's parents, Marcus and Joni Lamb, played. Within the context of a Christian ministry, the manner in which they responded to her traumatic experience raises significant concerns regarding the principles that are upheld by people who are in positions of authority. After Suzy was raped by an unlicensed chiropractor who was hired by her in-laws, she claims that she was subjected to a great deal of pressure to remain silent about the incident. This is especially concerning when we take into consideration the fact that Marcus and Joni Lamb are not only figures in a broadcasting network. Rather, they are supposed to be moral leaders in a Christian community that places an emphasis on honesty, compassion, and accountability. However, rather than showing support for Suzy and honestly discussing the issue, it appears that they put the reputation of the network ahead of her own well-being. The fact that this choice was made indicates that there is a concerning pattern in which the protection of the family's reputation takes precedence above the treatment of the suffering and trauma that victims have undergone. To add insult to injury, it seems that this culture of silence extends beyond Suzy's personal experience. According to reports, Joni Lamb urged Suzy not to involve law enforcement after their little daughter indicated that she had been molested. Instead, she suggested that Suzy bring the child to her for discussion. The fact that this is the case raises serious concerns about whether or not Joni Lamb was more concerned with protecting her family from public attention than she was with ensuring that her granddaughter experienced justice. As the circumstances surrounding this terrible narrative continue to unravel, it is anticipated that fresh reports and disclosures will emerge, which will shed additional light on the events that took place at Daystar and the experiences of individuals who were involved. It is only the beginning of a larger discourse about accountability and transparency in institutions that hold substantial power that Suzy Lamb has made the gutsy decision to come up. We strongly recommend that you subscribe to our channel today. With your assistance, we will continue to keep a close eye on this significant matter and ensure that you are provided with timely updates. If Joni Lamb does not finally reply with honesty, then it is likely that further secrets will continue to come to light. The subsequent actions that Jonathan and Suzy Lamb do will also be keenly monitored, since many people believe that they are the ones who hold the key to discovering the complete truth behind this story. So, what are your thoughts on the allegations that have been made against Joni Lamb? Do you think there is more to the story than meets the eye? Share your thoughts with us in the comments box below. Remember to subscribe to our channel so that you may stay up to speed with the most recent information and additional breaking stories from the Christian world.